So I'm trying to call the cows to move into this next paddock. I let them in this field for a day. It's a pretty decent sized field, 40 couple acres, so they had plenty of free roaming access. And now I'm trying to, probably got out here a little late. It's 10 o'clock or so. It's getting pretty hot already. Trying to get them moved into this field here that was grazed back first week of May, I think. I'd have to look back for sure. So if it was the first week of May, today's July 6th, so that's 2 months rest. And this is the second pass of new regrowth. And my goodness. This field and the other field on the other side of the driveway was interseeded with red and white clover as part of the CSP program I'm in. So that's why it's pretty thick out here, the clover. But boy, it's gonna make some good feed. And you walk up there and look at all the Johnson grass. This field's got a lot of Johnson grass in it, these fields over here. Anybody know what that is? But fescue, orchard grass, bluegrass, timothy, perennial ryegrass, the typical cool seasons I've been seeing this year. Got some aster, some milkweed, some horse nettle, some other forbs as well, a couple thistles. Thistles aren't too bad out here because it's more of a mixed grass. And previous history on this field here, let's see, it's probably been 10 years ago or so. This field, there's a field to the west and a field across the driveway to the north. They were hay fields in the past. We made hay off of them. They are, you know, good plant spacing in them. Mixed grass, hay. And then when I got some more cows, I was able to put cows on it. For a year or so, this field and the field to the west, the field on the other side of the driveway, now hold on a second. This field I'm standing in, after a year or so, the landlord didn't want cows on it because it was for sale, and he thought cows were making it look ugly. And then turns out new owner bought it, and now cows are back on it. So in those years that cows weren't on it, I had to make hay off of it, which was irritating, but did what we had to do. I think it was 2 or 3 years we did that. And then the past several years, it's been back in pasture. All these fields are back in pasture, along with that field that they're in and further south. So everything's pasture now. And the reason being these fields aren't terrible shape of thistles has got to be from having a mixed grass stand in it and better plant spacing. When we let it go back to pasture, let it grow. And what was irritating, making second cutting hay off of it, you'd always have some Johnson grass in it because that's when the warm seasons want to come up. And Johnson grass and hay, from what I know and have heard, cows don't like to eat it. but they'll chew her down to the ground if it's out in the pasture. Green. So that's why I'm glad it's back in pasture. Can utilize this Johnson grass in other warm seasons. I see some Bermuda grass coming up. It's got kind of a purplish tint to it. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like some sort of warm season coming up. But lots of clover. Some milkweed, which that in a hay field doesn't make good hay either. But the cows will chew her up. That milkweed. And here, there's always been a patch of Johnson grass here. Cows are gonna love that. I think that's where a mineral feeder was. The last pass. Didn't move it quick enough. Johnson grass. Some of it got some seed heads on it. Looks like it's pollinating right now. Got some cocklebur in there. They'll hammer that too, since it's tender. But yeah, this is gonna make some good forage for these girlies. We're gonna strip graze it off. We got the creek for water. So I'd like to do a non-selective graze on it. And if we need to put a back fence up, when we see some regrowth coming up behind us, we will try to incorporate that. But we're gonna get this field strip grazed off, and then the field behind it. And like I said, the creek is our only water over here. So for this field and the field behind the barns, there's a little patch back there. We'll just have to make them walk back to the creek. And then the other side of the driveway, there's the creek down there for water. We'll strip graze that up. There's some vetch. It's another nice legume to have in your pasture. But yeah, this part of the farm is also in the stream fencing that's going to happen in the near future. So there'll be a fence keeping them out of the creek on both sides. And then we'll have some water troughs out here. I got them placed out here. And some hydrants as well. Have to get a well, either another well dug, or where there's a well back to the south up on the hill where somebody thought they were going to build a house. They put a well in and a half-butt driveway. So we're going to try and use that well and then run some pipe off that. Corn across the road has been looking pretty decent this year. We are pretty dry right now. It's starting to tassel. It was planted April 19th. Could really use some rain in the next couple weeks while it's tasseling to get good pollination. So hopefully we'll catch a rain here shortly. It's a nice honey locust. That would make a nice shade tree out here. And that's, you know, a crappy part about hay fields. You never let any trees grow up since you mow it 3 times a year. So it takes several years to get some shade trees growing up if you want them. You know, I prefer to have some shade trees spread out through my fields, pastures, to have some shade for the cows. As long as the landlords approve of it, which is why I try to explain as best I can why I like to let them grow, and they will be managed. If a bunch more come up, you got to manage them so it doesn't turn into a forest. There's a big patch of Johnson grass up there on the hill. These cows are going to have a heyday in here. It's had plenty of time to recover. The warm seasons have made their way up. The cool seasons are sort of shutting down now that it's hot. And it's gonna make some excellent forage for these girlies. There's some wild carrot some ragweed. Looks like some sort of warm season. The warm seasons I've been seeing this year have been Johnson grass, common Bermuda, purple top. There might be some other ones out here like this. I'm not still learning my warm seasons, how to identify them. But there may be some others that are out here that I just don't know what they are yet. So, and that's from giving long rest periods, giving all the plants enough recovery time and not coming back too soon. Because everything that I'm seeing the grass has a point to it. It's recovered. Some of the cool seasons have a seed head on them, which they're definitely recovered. Even the clover looks like it's just about to go to seed or already is. So it's had plenty of time to recover, and the warm season Johnson grass is up. So, which since we were in here first week of May or so, we caught all them May rains after we grazed it. We grazed it pretty non-selectively, and then we caught all them rains in May, and we got some good regrowth. Not sure what that is. But yeah, I love it. Like what I see. Looks like some hop clover. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get these girlies moved over here. If not, we'll wait till the evening when it's cooler, and then they'll definitely come over here and chow down on all this green forage.